Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited today. We got a special guest coming in from California as well. And just the last couple years, got started in real estate investing, got a awesome opportunity as a real estate agent, was able to get a creative wholesaling opportunity. So good of a deal that instead of selling it and making just that one-time lump sum, chunk, really did the savvy move, like the real investor move, right? Not the W-2, payday type of mindset, but realize what this could do for the long run and the monthly income, and turning it into, at first, a house hacking situation. And we'll be able to hear more in just a moment. But afterwards, now doing short-term rentals and making it very profitable. So it's the very beginning, grassroots type of journey and fresh getting started as a real estate investor, which is perfect for so many people that are on the fence right now or waiting for that big ultimate crash, right? It may be time to jump off the damn fence to get started after today. So Jonathan, what's happening, man? How are you today?
Super excited, man. Thanks for this opportunity. And I just super excited to come on the podcast and kind of share a little bit about me in hopes that it, reaches someone and, really gets them to take action, because your dreams are really just at your fingertips. You really just have to work a little bit every single day and have a good angle at life, and you'll get there,
I love it, man. So anybody out there that doesn't know more about your story, who you are, where you're from, do you mind diving in a little bit deeper?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Jonathan Viero. I'm from Lake Arrowhead, California, born and raised, 23 years old. So I'm a new, young, hungry investor. I pretty much right out of high school jumped into the business, and there's a lot of things that helped out in my story, and to get to me to where I'm at. But obviously I'm still fresh in this journey, learning new things every single day. So that's just the most exciting thing. But I'm very fortunate and blessed to have gotten where I have been. So I think it's definitely valuable from a beginner or a grassroots standpoint to learn maybe some things that I've done to kind of help people get to where they're at. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So you are an agent, right? So when did you get your real estate license?
Yeah. So I first had an internship with a rental guy from this real estate company, and he was my first mentor. And he told me over and over, bro, you got to get your real estate license. Like, if you want to invest in real estate, you need to know the people, you need to have the money, and you need to have the skill set, right? And so that was the first step I took. And that was at the end of, I pretty much did that internship all of 2019. I got my license in December of 2019, 2 months before COVID started. Yeah. So it was, right when I started, I had 2 months of just, on the ground, running, moving forward, getting listings, and then boom, lockdown, and, all my business dried up for 4 or 5 months. But then of course it flipped even again, and it became really crazy. So that's kind of, so I got my real estate license in 2019, and it was, it changed my life, and it really grew me.
Yeah, I love mentors, man. I can't, most of the successes that I've had, or just decisions and business ventures, and it can always pinpoint back to the guidance or the help, the encouragement, the prosperity, all these different angles of a mentor. So yeah, it's awesome that you met somebody that believed in you, saw something probably even bigger than you even believed in yourself, and then they guided you. First, let me ask though, kind of a step back, why real estate?
Yeah.
Did you have any friends, family members that was in that section, or what?
Not at all. So from where I basically was at after leaving high school, my goal was actually to be a professional mountain biker.
Okay.
I raced rookie pro for 2 years, and that was also while I was studying for my license. But what I really learned from being on the road a little bit and meeting professional athletes was just that there's not a lot of money in it unless you get to the top 0.1% of the sport.
Oh, sure.
you really don't have much freedom. And honestly, for me, it kind of sucked the joy out of writing. So I learned basically I need to be able to make money part-time and not trade my time for money, but also just utilize a skill set or a business or some sort of system that, makes me money semi-passively, just where I don't have to show up and trade my time for money. So I really just started falling in love with different ways of doing business or different skill sets that, really allowed me to do a part-time work, full-time life, right? That financial freedom. And I actually stumbled upon, this is the first thing I stumbled upon, day trading, like Forex and options, right? And this was fresh out of high school, man. And I did that for about 6 months. And I just felt like it was a lot more like gambling. There was no like concreteness to it. Yeah, you can make a bunch of money if you have money and you have the skill set. So when you have nothing, you're kind of just, you're just wasting time. But so I did that.
When you have nothing, plus you need to there's going to be some learning curves coming up. You're like, shoot, man, this is going to be difficult, right?
Yeah, it was cool. But the biggest thing that came from that was it introduced me, from that school and mentorship program that I started learning that. It just grew my mind to the possibilities of life, meeting these people that are wealthy, managing millions of dollars, to them, $100,000 is nothing. And it's just like, coming from a small town kid that really didn't come from money, it just blew my mind. And it also really elevated my mind to say that, you know what, I can go out and do it too. Like if these people can, and they don't seem very smart either, I could do it too. So what that really did for me was it leveled up my mind. It got me into a different, network, right? With people that were doing things in business and doing that lifestyle that I really was looking for. And the biggest thing from that day trading phase was that I met a guy from San Clemente that told me, hey, locally, you need to go find a mentor. Someone, like you said, who takes care of you, who wants the best for you, that can not necessarily call the shots for you, but also guide you into certain ways of business that will actually get you to where you want to go. So
faster without all the mistakes and everything else, making the wrong decisions.
And so as I was racing bikes on the weekdays, I would go, I literally just started walking into real estate offices. That's how I did it. And I met this guy from someone I worked with, and it went from there, man. That was my first mentorship. That's how I got started.
I love it, man. It's so funny. It's like, you brought up something that made me think of when we're young at first. A lot of times we put a lot of people or, things on pedestals at first, right? And it's funny, once you actually just start implementing it, doing it, and realizing there's a lot of successful people and they're not the smartest guys in the room, but they got something. It's not rocket science to be able to get the certain pieces in place to really succeed with certain things, right? So that's awesome that you got the encouragement from being in that group.
100%. Yeah. And I'm glad, I took that leap of faith to do something that was completely opposite of what I wanted to do.
Sure.
For the sake of what I wanted in the future,
Yes.
A lot of people, I feel like they decide for what they want tomorrow.
Yeah. Today. Right. Yeah.
Right? Okay, how can I make money this week? Instead of how can I build a skill set or how can I build a lifestyle that makes me money for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And it gets easier as I go, instead of I have to put this much in and I get this much out, something that's scalable. So I'm glad I first took that leap of faith to do something different and kind of go against what I've been taught in school and all that,
Yeah, that's good. I love it. So talk to me about this deal, man. So you ended up getting this opportunity. How did the lead come through originally, to start off with?
Yeah. So I'll give a little bit of context. Basically, I had a year worth of selling real estate in half COVID, half post-pandemic craziness, right? When everybody was buying. But I sold about $7 million worth of real estate my first year as a beginning agent. But where I really learned during that phase was marketing and sales, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is the peak skill set in real estate investing, right? And so the entire time I'm focusing on selling, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm got to get ready to buy some real estate with this money, right? As a young kid, I don't need to go I just don't need to blow this money. Let's go put it to work, right?
Yep.
And so I was thinking hard about how can I apply this marketing sales to either wholesaling and flipping, or, I'm in a vacation area, so I could go after short-term rentals very easily. And I was like, okay, like who's doing it, right? So I start looking up all of these like wholesale investing mentorships, and I'm just like consuming content for free, just like you guys are today, right?
Yep.
Consuming, start putting a plan together, right? My plan was, okay, I'm going to do yard signs just all over the community. And then I'm going to write handwritten letters. I'm going to try to do about 10 a day for like 3 months, right? And put a little bit of an Instagram up, did some Facebook group work, very like minimal stuff. Like that was literally the level of my marketing plan at the time. And the thing that got me this deal was that this lady kept seeing my sign. I put it out front of the post office.
Wow.
Seeing it every day. She goes to work once a week, right? Like she just keeps seeing it. And I had a website hooked up to this sign, it's just We Buy Cabins. And she looked me up, calls me, and I just get this call. This was probably 1 out of 6 leads I got. So it wasn't like I had like a pipeline stacked with leads. Like this was literally like probably one of the first 2-3 calls that I got,
And the first 2 were like, like cursing you out, right?
It's crazy that it's a home run, but it's also cool that, it doesn't take a massive marketing plan. Like you can do stuff at a very beginner level and get results.
Yeah.
You just have to do the work. So yeah, signs were out in the communities. This lady calls me. She says, I need to get to Northern California in about 3 weeks. Can you come, give us your whole spiel? Okay, sit down. Obviously, I've sold houses before, but I've never bought any personally, right? And so I sit down with this lady and I'm like, do you guys have any idea of how much you were looking for? And they're like, oh, probably about like $350. And I'm like already like screaming internally because, I know the value at the time when I bought it was probably $450. So she's already where she's at, she's already at about $350. And I said, okay, well, knowing how much I can actually afford, it was about like $350. So I'm like, okay, I could buy this deal as is, but let me see if I can get any sort of discount. So I'm like, okay, let me go talk to my investors. So I go outside, I call my parents, right? And I was like, hey, like
my investors.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
And I was like, hey, I'm sitting down with this person and I'm going to try to buy their house, or I'm going to try to wholesale it, whatever that is, right? Didn't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting outside, I'm talking, I'm like, okay, cool. And they're just like, as long as it's a good deal and like you have the cash for it, like go ahead. Right. So I go back inside and I'm like, okay, I could do 285. Right. And they're like, oh, that's a little too low. 315. I said, you got a deal. So literally from 3 months of marketing, 4 or 5 phone calls, 1 appointment, I got under contract property for $315, and it was probably worth $450,000. And again, I was
as is, or you had to put in some work to it.
No, that was instant equity.
Wow. Yeah.
Like that house, the appraiser, like mid escrow, called me laughing. He's like, dude, how did you do this? And I'm like, honestly, it's a Hail Mary. It's lucky, but yeah. So I got a slam dunk deal. I ended up literally 2 days later, I had to fly out to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to do a family reunion for 3 weeks. So not only did I just get a great deal, but now I have to buy it from the other side of the country, right? So I'm like, obviously I've been through the process, but I learned so much through that process, and my company and my mentors from my company, the sales company, helped me out, get through it. And so we ended up buying it. I just used literally a first-time home buyer, primary residence. I think I got like 2.99% at that time. And
bought it traditional. You bought it traditional with a loan on it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Okay.
I think I had $25,000 to put into it.
Yeah.
Which I put into it. So
let's go.
Like super leverage, super like beginner level. Like a lot of people, if you've got 25, 30K, you can buy real estate. You just need a good deal. You need worth something buying. And then needed a little bit of hustle to add to that to get the deal, So yeah.
Okay. So you got that incredible rate. You got a loan. How long did it take to close?
We closed, I think it's about 35 days because there was a little bit of holdups. But yeah, cool. I think I got them moving up to Northern California pretty close to, they left before we even closed. They were so guaranteed, like they needed to go. So I showed up, the house was completely vacant. They got I got the keys, they're happy. So honestly, the other part of this is these people needed to go. And
that's a huge part of it. It really is. That's the why of why they're trying to get, sell this quick and discounted.
Yeah.
Did they have it listed?
No, again, they called me as a realtor.
Yeah.
But so my sign was just "We Buy Cabins," right? But when I pick up the phone, I'm like, basically I can help you in a variety of solutions,
Sure.
I can either find you a buyer on the market or one of my wholesale buyers, right? Yep. Or I can list it and try to sell it to a retail buyer, or I can make you an offer. So as a real estate agent, wholesaler, flipper, buyer, right? I have
the arsenal, of the full options.
Tools. Yeah. Yep. And that's what people really in business really needs is you need the flexibility and you need to meet people where you're at instead of just, handing leads off. So that was why I like that position of.
I think first off, like having the agent role and professionalism, it makes people feel more comfortable in some, fashion, as well as, like you said, like having the arsenal of different options. You're like the one-stop shop in a professional suit, like ready to go and have the title, the legal background. So like that makes somebody feel like, cool, this is one-stop shop. I feel good. He can solve my problems, which is awesome.
100%. Yeah. And so I talked with them. They asked me the question, like, what do you think you would get on the market? I told them 450, honestly.
You did. Yeah.
No, I'm being 100% transparent. I'm not, manipulating anybody, but I just told them, I was like, I can't, that's going to take us at least 60 days, 90 days. And if for whatever reason someone backs out because they don't like something, then we got to restart that clock. But what I can do for you, I can get you an offer that we can close in, I told them 21 days. And that's what they went with. So, I was just providing what options they had. And they just happened to pick the one that really was valuable to me. But my other plan B was, okay, if I still get a good deal and I can't buy it, I'm going to go call up all of my clients who are searching for deals that I found as a real estate agent. And I'm going to say, hey, by the way, I've got this opportunity. It's a little bit unique, but I can assign you the contract for 10 grand or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I first became a wholesaler. I was trying to buy properties as a real estate agent. So you can really get creative with real estate. And a lot of people look at, okay, I want to be a wholesaler, or I want to be a buy and hold rental guy. I want to be a real estate agent. If you actually just look at all of those industries and like how those angles at real estate, there's really not much in between, like you could do them all pretty much as long as
there's different marketing strategies. If you really want to take it like full-time professional, there's definitely marketing strategies behind that. But besides that, as long as you are educated and equipped, like you can have the arsenal of different options, which makes you, a deadly weapon out there because you can really solve the person's problem, which is awesome. Yeah. And so I assume they really liked you as well as a person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like if you are 35 and some 21-year-old comes and sits at your kitchen table and gives you an offer that works. And again, like I know what I'm talking about. So that's what makes sense, But honestly, people go for competence, like if you legitimately know what you're talking about, you could be 14 and do this stuff. Like other than, like experience does come with, reward. Like the more you do it, so there is no barrier to entry to try, right? Like this was my first property that I ever bought. Yeah. Right? But I had a previous skill set of selling them. So, you kind of work your way up through the milestones and then the skill sets, and you can get into those higher paying opportunities. And that's what's really like, start with what works, And
did you have to put any money into it afterwards? Remodeling?
Yeah. So again, I spent pretty much like my last dime buying it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I moved in and I was like, okay, let's find some roommates to offset the mortgage. That was, I have to live in this for a year. It's going to be a house hack, right?
How much is the mortgage?
Well, at the time I bought it, I put $18,000 down. I had about 25 in with the closing cost total.
Sure.
So 310, like 290 was around that. That was my mortgage. Yeah.
Oh, your monthly payment.
Monthly. Yeah. 1,900 with utilities comes out to about 2,300 usually. Yeah.
2,300. Cool. And then how many rooms?
3-bedroom, could be a 4th. So there is a basement that I can convert.
Cool.
But it was weird because the 3rd bedroom was a loft that didn't have doors or a wall on it. So I lived in a wall-less room for a year and a half with roommates.
Yeah. And then how much were you able to collect from the roommates?
I tried to get about, I think, $900 a month.
From each one?
Yeah, from each one. And what I wasn't able to get like long-term leases. So I ended up finding travel workers, travel business people on Airbnb. Okay. I listed each room on Airbnb, and it was like a live-in Airbnb, but I was renting rooms out for like $900 a month. That kept me going for about a year and a half. Yeah.
Cool. And then, so what are you doing now with it?
Yeah. So moved out probably about 8 months ago. I went back and I used a business credit card to fund a renovation in the master bedroom. So that way it's that way it's a more legit vacation rental, and everything's put together better. So I got it up to, let's say, Airbnb standard, right? Put it on as a vacation rental. And then from there, I'm just focusing on increasing the profit, getting to the point to where I'm ranked high enough to where I can start. Yeah. And then that's the next phase, is like leverage against it, go back, completely flip it, make it gorgeous. And then also use that money to go buy the next deal and the next 2 deals. So
I love it. How much are you bringing in per month currently on Airbnb?
About $3,500. So again, that's like very beginner level. I've been doing this for like 4 months. So I'm excited to grow that.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that the mortgage is covered. I don't have to worry about that much anymore. I'm finding a middle market where they're weekly and monthly stays, and not just going after the weekenders. So it's lighter than like someone who's strictly like nightly stays. I don't have as much turnover. So I found out that kind of middle market's working right now. And then probably this winter, I'll go pretty heavy with the nightly stays and try to get after those skiers and things like that. So
I think we do. I should have Jennifer come in here right now because she handles all of our short-term rentals. Mm-hmm. I just look at the numbers and we're at like 37,000 for this last 30 days. And it really just comes down to, I think we do like a 3-day minimum. So there's no party people. There's no stay at home vacation type of things. We don't do that because we've come to find that it's like parties and nasty stuff like that. So we typically find like family members that stay for, I think we average about 5-day stays, which is nice.
Good. Yeah, that's the gold. That's the gold right there.
Okay, so you also mentioned something that you ended up took out a business credit card. Was it 0% interest?
Yeah, for 18 months, just straight through Chase. My CPA was freaking out over my taxes, and she made me incorporate my business for sales. And then she's like, hey, you got to start working with business credit. Yeah. And I was like totally new to that game and super excited. And I've applied for credit cards before to go on vacations and stuff, but business credit's cool because there's like much better tools with it.
It's true.
And so I think, I just got like a $20,000 limit. I didn't do any, I just started, charging stuff to Home Depot on it and just started paying for everything through it. And then my goal is, to have the cash flow from the rental pay that card off. So, yeah.
And you got 18 months to make it happen. So,
And then if I, for whatever reason, want to keep that balance, I'm just going to apply for a new one, move the balance over, and then start from just keep deferring it. But so great business tool, so if you only have $25,000 to buy the property, and I honestly, what I should have done was right when I moved in, pulled that $20,000 line again, and then, called my friends and said, hey, I'm going to have you install some flooring and renovated back then, because then this entire time it would have probably been cash flowing more. So,
Yeah. And that's the thing. So it's always think about the BRRRR strategy, the value add right away, as all investors do. That's the way to go. And if the name of the game as any investor is the OPM, like other people's money. And a lot of people think like, okay, I got to borrow it from my investors, aka parents or friends, family member, whatever. Right. But just like just like you did, the banks can be OPM, 18 months, 0% interest from getting just one credit card. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the way to do it.
Vacation, flip your house. Like you got 18 months to start. And it's not even like, you don't have to pay it. That's just when you start getting charged interest.
Yeah.
But like I said, too, is like you just apply for another card, move the balance over, and then you start from square one. And so like it is the most life hack beginner skill set that anybody can start doing. You have to have a decent credit profile, and you can kind of go into the qualifications on what, like, I just needed to have basically, I need to be able to qualify for the credit card, and that was about it. Yeah.
Yeah, every card's different. A lot of people don't realize, though, that there's literally 9,500 banks nationwide. Guess what? They all want to lend to you. That's their business. They make money when you actually borrow and leverage. And they try to set you up with the 0% interest at first, and then with hopes that over time, they'll be able to make more money off of you. But guess what? This is exactly what the rich do. This is like all businesses run off of leveraging credit and debt. So when you understand that, when you identify that and realize exactly what the banks have been doing to us for hundreds of years, it's like, it's time to flip the script on the banks. And I love it, man.
Yeah. And it's a great tool for beginners that don't have a lot of money. And especially if you're, trying to get started, even just buying your first house or buying your first rental. Again, like I learned these things along the way, which I wish someone like grabbed me as a 19-year-old was like, okay, do this exact thing. But hey, I'm right on time. There's plenty of people that, wish they started sooner. So I'd encourage everybody just like, literally just find your local opportunity and do it. And don't worry, just you will learn what you need to learn along the way, You know
what's funny? When I was younger, I wished somebody would have shook me up and said like, hey, do it this way. I always wanted guidance because I knew that I needed it. However, like I've tried doing that with my 18-year-old nephew and just no care in the world. So in the future, when they get to that point, who knows, maybe. But it's kind of funny, even though, we say that we might want it at the time, it's kind of within your time that you get to it. And I think it's perfect timing. And I wouldn't recommend anything else except credit, because you can sleep better at night knowing that you're not borrowing money from friends, family, grandmother, whatever, and you're doing it with the bank. It's only your credit and you have backup plans. To pay a contractor, I only pay with credit, so I don't get screwed over. It's my insurance plan, right? And then at the end, you get so many points afterwards after doing the renovation or buying, each property, that you can go on a free vacation afterwards. So it's like, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
I went to, where did I go? I went to Greece for 10 days.
Yep.
Thanks to Chase, baby.
Yeah, thanks to Chase, baby. I love it. I just got engaged in Santorini a couple weeks ago, and it was beautiful, man. We were just traveling. We went to 8 different countries for a full month in Europe, and it was just incredible. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, and the banks probably paid for it, right?
They pay. We didn't pay a dime. Like it was crazy. We paid for taxis and a little bit of food here and there, but we had everything else like comped and taken care of.
It's a true life hack, credit stacking, credit bonus. What do you even call it?
The sign up bonuses. We've had people get 17,000 in free sign up bonuses, like just free cash. And you can do this every 6 months.
Even if you just do that, you'll be making money. Well, you have a sweet lifestyle, but you tack along a business along with this, man, it gets really sweet really quick. So
it's a no-brainer,
obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all the right education. So, and this is, it's funny that we're diving deep into this, but man, it's right up my alley. It's exactly what we teach in Credit Counsel Elite. So if you guys actually want to learn how to get up to $500,000 at 0% interest so that you can grow, scale your business, and do this every 6 months for yourself, significant other, friends, family, clients, whatever, get a big stack of these and get anywhere from 10 to 40 plus cards approved in the next 30 to 90 days, then check out creditcounselelite.com. That's the way to go for sure. Cool, man. I appreciate you jumping on today. Any, recommendations that you would give to somebody brand new just getting started?
Well, the first thing is find someone that, trust, maybe they're in business, And the biggest question that I asked when I was starting out in a new network or anything is I said, if you were me, what would you do?
Yeah.
Right. And dude, people will like unleash the gold on you, man. Yep. I went to this sales seminar in San Diego for 2 days. And I just asked that question to probably 20, 50 people. And no, probably just 20 people. But I would just write, after I'd get done, I would just write down everything they said, man. And then that next year, I literally just did what those people said. And it ends up being this, like, you'll look back after like 10 years and be like, wow, that was actually gold. At the time, you'll probably hear stuff and you're like, okay, what does that mean? You know, but it's, I think, yeah, if you can find someone that you can sit down with even just an hour a week and just ask them questions about their businesses or how they got to where they're at, or where could you see a young guy fitting into this industry and playing a role and scaling it and learn it. The biggest thing is a skill set too. You know, you don't have to be a business person yet. If you just start with the grassroots skill set of sales or marketing or management, or, you know, if you can make other people money, you can get them attention, or you can if you can figure out something that you really like. And the other thing too, is I feel like people only want to do what sounds fun, but you'll actually find fun in the challenge. You'll find the growth and the excitement over stuff that's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So delay that gratification, apply yourself to something that's just exciting. It might not be the most like, you know, what we're talking about, going to Greece for free. It might not be like that yet. But again, I got into it because I just didn't want to travel with a mountain bike and make no money and just be a bum. Like, okay, what works when I'm home, right? I have, let's say 10 hours a week to work, right? I am in a vacation destination with plenty of people making plenty of money. And it all happens to do with real estate, usually up here, or the vacation industry. You know, I could go rent kayaks or even mountain bikes and make money. But real estate is something that I see that everybody participates that has money, right? Everybody needs to participate in real estate, even regardless if they're in an industry that has nothing to do with real estate. So it's a great place to start, even if you end up pivoting in a year or or two or whatever. Like, dude, if your foundation is in sales, marketing, management of money, or multiplying, or even just gaining people's attention with online stuff, you're in good hands. So just find your local opportunity and just get after it, but spend it, you know, all of your spare time and get obsessed with that thing, you know. But also, like, I know with the social media and all the rah, like, I think all of my friends are like, spread their energy over 10 or 15 different things. Find two, just say two, right?
Yeah. Laser beam. Yeah. Stay focused.
Obsessed with it. Spend your time, spend your reading, spend your, you know, all your energy in learning that thing. And just start putting it into play and you'll get there easy. So that's exactly what I did. And so we got a short-term rental. We're young and we've got a great sales business. And then, we're participating a lot more in wholesale and real estate investing. And I'm excited to see where that's going to take me. And I mean, my goal by 2025, 5 vacation rentals, $1 million net worth, $250,000 in sales each year would be great. So,
Oh yeah, man. I love it, dude. Well, I appreciate you jumping on, and I love your heart, man. I'm excited to see where you take this. And just like you said, like, everybody should have a couple rentals at the very least. And whatever that thing is for you, it could be exactly the opposite of what you thought it would be, but it could be the most rewarding thing. So just try a bunch of things out there for sure. But get real estate is the long story short. Get some real estate. I
mean, again, even if it's just learning how to buy your house, right? Or how to, because again, the skill set of what real estate people do is use skill sets that work for a bunch of different industries. They just apply it to this asset class. Sure. So you apply your real estate skills to social media, boom, you know, you can do network branding and affiliate marketing, right? You apply your real estate skills to, let's say, Amazon, right? Like, you know, drop shipping stuff, boom. Like it all is an ecosystem that's based around skill set. So, and you just find what's exciting and kind of also work your life backwards. That was a big thing too, that one of those people said to me, was asking what would they do is reverse engineer your life all the way from when you're retired and on your deathbed, work it way all the way down probably every 10 years until today, right? Who do you want to be in 60, 40, 30, 10, 5, 2 years? Who do you want to be? And then just engineer today and tomorrow to be like that.
Good.
And the micro will make the macro, like so. And you do that, man. And yeah, there's very few things that will be in your way,
Yeah.
But you have to have that very zoomed out bird's like look, at life.
Jonathan, how can people get a hold of you?
Best place is probably Instagram. If you guys want to look up my sales stuff, Team Lake Arrowhead is the handle. You can also just, if you're curious and want to network, you can look up my name, Jonathan.Viero on Instagram. You can see my sports stuff. I'm really involved more personally on that one. But yeah, business hustles all on Team Lake Arrowhead. Personal stuff's on Jonathan Viero. So I'd love to connect with you guys and see your journey. Feel free to ask me any questions and, we'll network and make some money together.
Hell yeah. I love it, dude. Well, I appreciate you, man. I'm excited to see where you take this. And yeah, I appreciate you just jumping on today to be able to pour into the listeners. So guys, as always, reach out to Jonathan. He's a wealth of knowledge and somebody just great to be able to network with. And if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments. Otherwise, check out facebook.com/Brandon Elliott Investor. And like I said, if you're looking to really get educated, I'm not a banker, I'm not a broker, I'm not a lender. I'm literally just teaching you the education on how we went from 11,000 in debt to 8.5 million in real estate, and how you guys can too. It was all with credit, learning how to get a ton of money from the banks and getting the banks to say yes every time. So if you're looking to learn more about that, check out creditcounselelite.com. There's a quick 20-minute video on there that breaks down exactly what I'm talking about, teaches you the techniques that we're sharing. And afterwards, you can jump on a one-on-one call with either myself or somebody on our team to be able to hear more about your goals, where you're currently at, what's stopping you from getting there. And we'll give you some tips and tricks on how to get there as a second opinion. Also, we just launched our Credit Counsel Elite Instagram page. Would love for you to jump on there and follow us over there. There's going to be a lot of awesome content coming soon. So we will see you on the very next episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get the newest episode every Monday. Leave that 5-star review on whatever platform that you listen to, ideally iTunes, and we will catch you next time. Till next time, guys. God bless. Jonathan, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Brandon.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.